Social media has become the new way of publishing. You get your images out immediately, and you have an incredibly large audience.
We're having a three-way conversation. I'm talking to my subjects, and I'm talking to the people that are looking at my photographs, and that is a big responsibility.
Share the photos you love. Share the photos that you love, because if they're photos you love, that's going to come across. That's going to come across in your sharing, it's going to come across in your description, it's going to come across when you talk to people about it, rather than a shot that you posted because you thought that you should.
Social media is a very hungry animal, and it requires a lot of attention. Feed it your best work, feed it your most genuine work, and make sure that it comes from your passionate voice, what you really care about.
If you want people to recognize your photography in social media, it's very simple. Put up good pictures.
The photographer can directly connect to their audience. It makes the photographer and the viewer very present of this is what's going on now.
A couple years ago, seeing these platforms start to arise where I could share an image with the world essentially and share my own story, a bit of myself, a personal piece of what made that so important. That is why I got on there. The storytelling aspect is unparalleled. There's nothing like it today. Maybe some people won't even remember the last time that, it was impossible to publish a photo with your thumb and have the entire world see it.
Well, I photograph each day and I try to post each day. When I post, I try to post like 2 to 3 images that are cohesive, but sort of like mini projects.
The thing that has helped me out the most is to be very consistent every single day, if at all possible. Monday through Friday at a bare minimum, post online, post something on social media, and just one post. You don't have to do 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 posts per day. That gets super overwhelming. At least one post a day, be active, be very consistent with your posts, and you'll see a lot of success.
I think you want to, in a way, try to be consistent. And the most important tip that I'm sure everybody's heard is only put up the good pictures.
If you look back 10, 15 years, photographers themselves didn't have the ability to have their own marketing arm. Social media, to some extent, has given photographers that have put forth the effort and the energy to essentially be able to take that momentum and build a large platform of followers to be able to share their thoughts, their opinions, and of course, their products and services.
Facebook was a huge game changer, and all of a sudden we realized that we had to adapt to how people were feeling like they had community. People, I think right now, are desperate to know about you, what makes you who you are, and that's what at the end of the day is inspiring. And so, honestly, my number one tip for social media is to be yourself and to be authentic.
But it's also about interacting with the people who are really devoted to your story, and they're devoted to following your career, your art, pieces of you that you're sharing. You may not always have the time to answer people's comments, especially if you get a ton of them, but I think it makes so much of a difference when you do try to do that, even if it's like a couple times a week, just to go through and kind of maintain that connection. At least say thank you, or, wow, I really appreciate that you took the time to make this comment. So I think remembering that there's a social aspect is so important these days.
Lately, I've been spending a little more time on the writing that goes with the image. It's letting the viewers sort of understand my point of view, what I was thinking about while I was doing it.
You have to be willing to give a piece of yourself. You have to be willing to write honest captions. I have this one thing. You should never describe what people can already see. Telling people what it smelled like and tasted like, what was the visceral experience of being there? That's what's important. People want to know what it was like for you, what it felt like when you stepped on the beach and you felt the ice, or when the wind, came through this valley and hit your back. You need to be able to open up and share a personal experience. If you use social media as a place to share an image and regurgitate a quote from some dead poet, you're missing the point. This is the place that you make your own quotes.